question.
Yeah.
Hey there. Welcome into the Ben Maynard program. Thanks for being here. It's been a little bit, hasn't it? Yes, it has. Well, thanks for spending your time with us. And before we get started, I'll just remind everyone that this program is available wherever you get your podcasts. But if you can't resist a little bit of this and a little bit of that over there, and you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for doing so. Just have a few things to ask. Please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment. All right. Love the comments. And I read them and I reply to all of them. Last but not least, follow me on Instagram, simply Ben Maynard Program. All right. So short and sweet, plenty of ways to take in this show for your dancing and listening pleasure. And as you can see, look who's back. Look who is back. Yes, gracing the studio with his presence. My dear friend Spaz. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks. Happy New Year.
Happy. Well, we're halfway through February.
I haven't been on the show.
No, it's been a little bit. I think the last episode we did together, the last show we did was
last year.
But it was our foreigner show when we did I think we did our top 20 foreigner songs or something like that. When
that was our last show.
We were celebrating foreigners' induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
which was last year.
Exactly.
So
and speaking of which, that's what we'll be talking about tonight is the 2025 class of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees. All right, we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, that was the last show that we did together.
Yeah, that's correct.
And it's good to have you back, but It's not the last time we saw each other.
No, true.
No.
We know that.
Yes. See, we do this thing. We do this thing. All of us guys, the tough guys, those are the guys that we all grew up together, and we still hang out with each other. We still love one another, and we don't fight like we used to anymore. But we still love one another and like to get together, and we try to do it every 3 months. We're starting a little slow, but we try to do it every 3 months where we get together and have breakfast or lunch and. Yeah. We just did it 2 weeks ago, I think it was
about 2 weeks.
God, that was so much fun. It was just such a good time.
Yeah, it was
just such a good time. No, it's like it's no pressure. It's everybody. We just we show up at the restaurant. We've got a big table and we order at breakfast and we just gab. I think we're there like 3.5 hours.
I lapped at that table too.
Yeah,
it was a nice visit. It was fun.
It was a good time. It was good to see everyone. And my brother Chuck was in town. He made it into town specifically just for that breakfast. So that was really good. So all the guys were there minus one. We had you, we had myself, we had Chuck, we had Tom, we had Nelson, Matt, and Javier.
Correct.
And the only one missing was
Bob.
Yeah.
We don't need his name.
I know. We probably shouldn't even mention his name. He doesn't deserve it. But Bob was missing. And, truth be told, this is a step in the right direction, us doing this. And we've had a text thread with the whole group of us. We've had a text thread going for a few years now, haven't we? And it's just, it's like we send out happy birthday greetings to whoever's birthday it is, or happy St. Patrick's Day or Merry Christmas, whatever it is. We kind of communicate to each other that way. But we started slow with this getting together, committing to getting together every 3 months because it started right after your dad had passed away last year. That's when, and I remember we were sitting there at the reception afterwards, And I'm thinking to myself, no, this is enough. Enough's enough. Forget this. We're not doing this anymore. I mean, and so that's when I start putting the text out, and I'm like, okay, guys, we're committing to this once every 3 months. That's 4 times a year. You guys can commit. And everybody's like, come on board. Then the sad part is we don't live that far from one another.
No, not necessarily. I think Long Beach is the farthest. I think
exactly. I think the furthest drive would be about 45 minutes. Maybe 50 minutes tops. You and I were like
25, where we meet. Yeah,
we're like 25 minutes apart. Everybody else is already like 25 minutes apart, 30 minutes apart, and except for my brother and Bob. They're the out-of-towners. The rest of us, we're real close. Yeah. So, but that's why it's baby steps right now. So, but it was great, man. We had a good time. A couple weeks ago, and I think our server really appreciated it because she made some good money that morning.
She got tipped.
Yeah, she did. But anyway, okay, so back to business at hand. All right. Today is Friday, February 14th. Okay, so yes, it's Valentine's Day. So thank you to Spaz's wife, Nancy, and thank you to mine, Catherine, for letting us do this on Valentine's Day.
Of all days.
But they're smart women because they know they want no part of Valentine's Day as far as going out and doing anything. They're smart that way.
Especially on a Friday.
Yeah, that too. So not only a Friday, but a holiday and a Friday. So yeah. So we'll take care of business tomorrow when it's not so nutty. But so thank you to our lovely wives for allowing us to do this. Come up into studio and do this. What we're going to be discussing, like I mentioned earlier, is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees for 2025 came out Wednesday. They were announced. And I thought, well, shoot. We did this last year. You and I went over the nominees.
We did 2024. Yeah.
We did. So I thought, well, you know what? This just might be a yearly thing.
We'll do it again.
That's right. We'll just talk about the nominees. Yep. We'll talk about the inductees when that comes around, all that good stuff. Since we do talk a lot of music on this show. And so we have a list of the nominees, and what we're going to do is we're going to treat this like we're voters, and these are going to be our ballots. Okay. So we're going to discuss these nominees and who we would vote for. And we're going to give our reasons why we feel that they're deserving and go on from there. All right. So strap in, everybody. Let's have some fun. Okay. Oh, let's do this here too. Let's do this right. Forgot to put the banner up. Right there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's do that. So first thing was Wednesday, the nominees came out. And I think the cool part is there's, 14 nominees. The rules have changed a little bit over the years with the, the voting committee. I think it used to be you got to vote for 5, and I think last year was the first year they allowed for the voting body to elect 7. So we're going to stick with that number 7, and we'll go about it that way. The cool part about this list, and tell me if you agree, there's a lot of rock and roll on it this year.
Yeah, there is. And some non-rock and roll.
Of course. Of course. Because that's what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame does. Especially maybe the last 20 years or so. But yeah, there's a lot of rock and roll this year. A lot of rock acts or bands, artists, however you want to categorize that. So that's the good thing. It's not like you have to pull teeth to figure out who you're voting for and that kind of stuff. So, all right. So why don't we just get right into it? Okay. And let's just go right from the top of the list, the way that the nominees were put out. All right. And right at the top of the list is a band that has been snubbed since they have been eligible. And this band is Bad Company.
Rick, I mean, this band has been out since the 70s. You know, it means snubbed each and every year, so it seems. But,
yeah,
I mean, they're a great band, period.
absolutely.
I mean, we saw them live,
Yep.
what, the year 2000? 2001?
2001, yeah.
Yeah,
2001.
we saw them live in Las Vegas. It was a great show. Of course, it was awfully hot that day, but it was a great show. They weren't the only ones performing. There was quite a few bands performing that day.
Yeah, yeah.
But they were very, very good.
They put on a great show.
Yeah.
And to what you said, yes, the band was established in 1973. And the way the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame looks at your eligibility, it's 25 years from the release of your first album. All right.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know
that. And the first album from Bad Company came out in 75. Now, what's weird is that Bad Company is kind of an offshoot of Free, because you had three of the four members from Free kind of form Bad Company.
Oh.
And so it's kind of weird, and we'll talk about it later, because there's something that kind of is very similar to what I'm going to bring up. But they could, the nominating committee could have just said Bad Company / Free, and included both bands.
Why not?
But they didn't, which is weird, because, like I said, we'll get into that a few line items down on the list here. But yeah, Bad Company established in 73, first album in 75. They've been eligible since 2000. This band has been snubbed for far too long. I mean, they've been eligible for 25 years.
Yeah.
And never, ever been on a ballot even until now. And you're talking Paul Rodgers, one of the great singers in rock and roll. Just such an incredible voice.
Boy, he put out good music.
Good music. Yeah. I'll tell you what. I mean, they put out some incredible music. They were, signed to Led Zeppelin's label, Swan Song. And like I said, they put the first album out in 75. They put out a greatest hits package. I can't remember what year it was, but it was called 10 from 6.
Yeah. I have that.
Yeah. And I mean, my gosh, those 10 songs on there are absolutely, usually a band will put out a greatest hits package, and there's like one or two songs that you're like, was that really kind of like a hit song? Or, I mean,
it was a hit to them, but it's a hit to us.
Yeah. But 10 from 6, all 10 of those songs got heavy radio play, and especially rock radio play. Yeah. So that 10 from 6 is tremendous. And,
Rock and Roll Fantasy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Just great song. Great song. So they're finally on a ballot. So good for Bad Company. Okay, next. So we'll just we'll run down the list. Maybe we should run down the list before we start getting into the discussion on each artist, because
we'll be here forever.
Exactly. Okay. So next on the list is the Black Crowes. All right.
Okay.
Then Mariah Carey.
Rock and roll, she's not.
Chubby Checker.
Neither is he.
Hey.
Okay, all right.
Joe Cocker.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Joe Cocker. Another one right here coming up. Has never been on a ballot, so never even considered, and it's so good to see him.
Oh boy.
Billy Idol.
Yeah.
Love it. Then you've got Joy Division / New Order. So again, like I had mentioned with Bad Company, they could have put Bad Company / Free.
Yeah, they could have done that.
They've got Joy Division / New Order, and so
I call it
because
the
well,
winter.
New Order. Wait, how'd it go? I think New Order came before Joy Division. I don't recall.
Maybe
I think
one.
I can't.
Maybe
Gosh,
somebody out there can
you
tell
know,
us.
yeah.
You
Somebody,
know,
you can leave it in the comments and
leave a
tell me
comment
how
and let us know because
what
we're
a
lost or
knuckle.
whatever.
I was doing some research on this. I was looking it up, and I just don't remember because it's a little bit out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But the lead singer for the band, it was I think it was Joy Division. It was one of them. Like I said, I don't recall. I'm sorry. I think it was New Order. I don't remember. Clobber me. It's okay. It's all right. Clobber me on this one.
Yeah.
But they, the lead singer had passed. He died of suicide. Actually, he died of suicide the night before they were supposed to start their American tour.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, needless to say, then the remainder of the band decided to carry on, and then they got a new lead singer, but they changed the name of the band.
They renamed themselves.
Now, both bands were very influential in the new wave post-punk
era
genre.
Yeah.
And so I think this is the first time Joy Division's been on a ballot. And then right after that, we got Cyndi Lauper, because girls just want to have fun, right? I don't know if I can't recall if this is Cindy's first time on a ballot or not. I don't recall.
I don't either.
Now, here's another band, and I know you've never heard of them because I never heard of them. Mana. Actually, I'm sorry, it's Mana. Mana. Now, they're a band.
Spanish rock band.
Yeah, they're from Mexico, and they're pretty popular down there, big time. They've been around, I think, since around 1983, I think.
Yeah.
Something like
great
that.
Year.
But yeah, it is actually. But I never heard of them.
Me neither.
You've never heard of them. I don't know what kind of following they have. I know they lean more on the pop side than the rock and roll side, but I think they're kind of a mix of the two. Then we have Oasis.
Oh, good new wave band.
Then we have Outkast. That's more from the hip hop rap world.
Yeah.
Then we have Fish.
Yeah. Rock and roll band.
And Soundgarden.
Good.
This is I think now Soundgarden's been on the ballot before, once or twice.
One hit wonder.
And then the White Stripes. Okay, the White Stripes.
Don't know them either.
That's all right. Well, you know one song from the White Stripes. I don't even know the name of it, but it's their biggest song. It came out, I think, 1998 or 98, 99, something like that. I don't know the name of it, but you know it when it gets played. You know it.
Oh, okay. Well.
Definitely, because I know the song too. I'm not like crazy about it or anything, but you know it, big time.
Well, okay,
big time. So, all right. Excuse me for that. So let's go through our ballot. All right, let's go through our ballot. Let's see who we are going to be electing if we were part of the voting body for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You first. Let's start right at the top.
With Bad Company?
Mm-hmm.
If how many votes are we allowed? 7?
No. Well, you're allowed to vote for 7.
7 different.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 7 of these.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Bad Company's in, no matter what.
My
great band, the Rock and Roll Fantasy. It's a great band.
Yeah.
And they've been great for years. I'm just surprised they finally got themselves nominated to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it deserved to be there, believe me.
Yeah, 2025 is 50 years from the release of their debut album. Yeah. And as I said, they've been eligible since the year 2000. Definitely so deserving.
Yeah.
Definitely so deserving. Should have been in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 20 years ago at the worst.
Yeah.
But as I said, never even nominated. That, to me, that's even more criminal than the fact that they're. I definitely think they're a shoe-in.
Yeah,
I definitely think they're a shoe-in.
I agree.
So, but I think the fact that have never been on a ballot is more criminal than the fact that they're going to finally get in this year. Because that's just insane to me.
Yeah,
to be on a ballot and never get in is one thing, but never even be considered is completely different. It's insane. So yeah, definitely. So you and I agree.
Yeah.
We're our vote would go for Bad Company.
Yes.
All right. Black Crowes.
Black Crowes, I'm not really familiar with. There's a few songs, I do like. I'm not sure if this is the first time ballot or not. I don't think they're ready to be let in because I just feel that there's other bands that are more deserving.
Okay. All right. Well, Black Crowes, they established in 1984. They put their first album out in 1989, and that was Shake Your Moneymaker. And that's the one that had huge hits on it. They've been eligible since 2014, so basically 11 years, 11 years. They've been eligible. I believe this is the first time they've been on the ballot, at least from memory anyhow. Me personally, I think the Black Crowes are deserving of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A couple of reasons. When they broke during an era of 80s hard rock. Bon Jovi, Poison, Rat, Motley Crue, those bands. And when the Black Crowes broke, they were nothing like those bands. I mean, completely different than those bands. And they didn't just break, but they broke through.
Yeah.
And it was that Southern rock, kind of a bluesy flair, kind of honestly, it was very dirty, if you want to call it that, kind of just, or dirgy. I've used that term once or twice on the podcast to describe something, but just like dirgy, and but very influential at that time, and a good sound. Not necessarily unique, but unique at that time based on what was going on at that time. So I do. I like the Crowes, and they've been back touring now, the Robinson Brothers, for the last 3 years or so, 4 years.
Maybe I need to see them live.
You know what? We should check it out. You and I. But we love going to shows together, so we should see if they're coming to the area anytime this year, and
check them out.
Get ourselves in there.
Yeah,
I know we'd have a good time. We'd probably
I'm sure we would.
I'm sure we'd be up dancing the whole time.
Well, you will. I only do that when I drink, and I don't drink anymore. So, so it's on him.
All right,
we'll watch you.
Okay. All right. Third on the list, Mariah Carey. So wait. Okay, so let me back up. So Black Crowes was a yes for me, but not yet for you.
Yeah, not yet for me.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
All right. So now let's move on. Mariah Carey.
Although she's very popular.
Yep.
I'm not ready to vote her in yet.
Okay.
She owes me money. Okay. And let me tell you a quick story about that. We went to go see her at Dodger Stadium.
Let me put my hair behind my ears.
Yeah.
First, okay?
Do what you got to do.
I want to hear.
Okay. I took the wife to Dodger Stadium because she wanted to see her in concert. She headlined the band's Wango Tangos with their shows called for Kiss FM. Oh, yeah. She came on and did one song and took off and never came back. Of course, the excuse they gave out, which is true, it's unfortunate, but it's true. She had stage fright.
What a punk!
How in the world do you have stage fright if you're going to perform? If you're not going to perform, don't. She has good Christmas music, so I'll say that.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I'd vote her in yet.
Okay.
I'd give her probably another couple more years.
Okay.
Depending on who it is.
Well, I think she was on the ballot last year and obviously didn't get in. I don't recall if last year was the first time she was on the ballot or not. Here's the thing. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has really broadened their scope in the last 20 years
Yeah,
or so.
certainly do.
And I mean, it is called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, not the Disco Hall of Fame, not the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, not the Country Music Hall of Fame. Outside of disco, I think rap and hip hop have their own Hall of Fame. I know country music has its own Hall of Fame, and they don't allow artists out of the genre in those halls of fame.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the logic and the thinking. Well, I do a little bit. I just don't think it's right behind why the Hall of Fame does it. You know, the bottom line is in all of this, you'll see when we go through the list, you're going to see some older acts, you're going to see some newer acts, and then you see stuff that's out of the genre. It's, you know,
Yeah.
and they're trying to tell you that everything is rock and roll. If you talk to John Sykes, who runs, not the guitar player, not the musician, but if you talk to John Sykes, who runs the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, now, no, everything is rock and roll is all encompassing. It's basically whatever you say it is. So I suppose if you and I took a hammer and nails and a saw and made a bunch of noise, we could call it rock and roll, and maybe we'd be eligible in 25 years.
Yeah.
It's stupid, but nonetheless,
That's our opinion. You're welcome to go on and voice yours.
Unfortunately, the bottom line in it is it's their Hall of Fame. It's their deal. They can make or change the rules as they see fit, which they do, and they have. So now, when it comes back to Mariah Carey, other than on a morning show when they're talking about an artist or maybe even having a few chuckles or a few laughs, Mariah Carey does not get played on rock radio.
No, they don't.
Okay. Mariah Carey is not played on rock radio.
She's top 40.
So then she would not be considered rock and roll. And yeah, of course, she's quite popular. Sold, bazillion records. But
she has a great voice. No, there's no doubt about that. She's owed me $150.
Yeah, well, yeah, and and
me money.
primarily because she owes Spaz some money.
She's definitely
not getting my vote. No,
not getting mine either.
Happening. No.
That's the only reason.
Mariah, you're out. Better luck next year.
Yeah, snub.
Okay, so
she's a snub.
Okay, so she's a no for the both.
She's a no.
Okay.
Sorry, Mariah.
Yeah. Too bad. So sad. I'm
glad.
Glad.
Sorry.
All right. So next on the list is Chubby Checker. And I think you and I probably have some differing opinions on this.
No, I think Chubby Checker should make it. He's been in the business for many, many years. And of course the twist has always been popular.
Yeah.
Everybody else is singing it now, different acts are singing it. But yeah, it started with him, and I'll go with that. I would induct him.
When I heard his name I saw it first before I heard it. When I saw his name on the ballot, I was quite surprised.
Yeah.
Because Chubby Checker, he was an established artist in 1958. His first release, and back then there was a lot of singles put out before albums.
Yeah,
but his first release was 1959. So he's been eligible since 1984. Now, I don't remember when the first class went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think it was like 1986. I think it was. I could be off a year or two on that, but I think it was 86. So now, I believe in that first class, you had artists like Fats Domino, might have had Chuck Berry in there. Chubby Checker falls right in line with those guys. So, like I said, I was very surprised to see his name on the ballot because I thought that Chubby Checker was already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I think deservedly so because he, along with, like I said, Chuck Berry, Fats Domino, Elvis Presley, those artists, Little Richard, don't forget Little Richard, no way. Those artists were the foundation of rock and roll.
Yeah.
They were the foundational artists of rock and roll. And so to almost like, founding fathers,
Yeah.
so to speak. And so to not have him included for all these years is kind of criminal. And so, I mean, I just think he's so deserving anyway. Yeah, he only had like 2 big hits, but it was the influence. It was the influence factor, Yeah, you had the Twist, he had Twist Again, he had another couple songs. Hey, but come on. How many people get their own commercial in the 70s? Remember that coffee, the freeze-dried crystals brim? Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he had his commercial. Come on, baby.
Oh, that's right.
Let's do the brim twist.
I forgot about that. That's right.
Let's do the brim twist.
I can't remember that.
Yeah. And they had the jar of brim there, and it would be twisted, and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, no, Chubby Checker definitely.
He's in.
I mean, he's like 83 or 86 right now too. And the thing is also, when you have to, when think about this too, and this thing, when I mention this takes bad. I mean, I'm thinking about Bad Company as well. You want these artists that are deserving of this honor to be in the Hall of Fame. You want them to be able to celebrate and enjoy it too. You want them in before they die. And like I said, Chubby Checker's in his 80s. I don't know if he has any health problems. I know in regards to Bad Company, Paul Rodgers has had a lot of health issues the last couple of years. Yeah. In fact, so much so, he did put out a solo album a little over a year ago, but he is done performing because of the health issues that he's had. He's had, I think, a few strokes or maybe heart attacks, one of the two, something like that. It's heart related. Nonetheless, you want to get these guys in before they die.
Yeah.
And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has screwed that one up plenty of times in the past. So anyway, yes, Chubby, you get my vote. You're in, Chubby, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. And that's a yes for you too, right?
Yes, that's
all
correct.
Right. Okay. Well, we're okay on 2 of 4 right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up is Joe Cocker.
Oh, Joe Cocker is in. He's got loads of music.
Tell me about it. Come on,
man. There's so many songs I just don't.
Yeah.
No, I just don't remember. But there's so many songs that he's performed that are awesome.
Come on, I think everyone is going to agree. Well, you don't have to agree what his biggest song is.
You Are So Beautiful.
I think it's You're So Beautiful, or A Little Help from My Friends.
Yeah, that's correct.
And I think Paul McCartney even said that A Little Help from My Friends, that's not a Beatles song. That's a Joe Cocker song. Joe took that song and he made it his song. He owns. Yeah. Well, Joe has passed away. Yeah. So again, see, now Joe Cocker's been eligible since. Let me get my glasses on here. I wrote it down. Since 1994.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times he's been on a ballot, if he has been.
31 years.
I don't recall.
Holy moly.
That's criminal.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's criminal.
Years.
Okay. He didn't write a lot of his material, but boy, he performed the crap out of it.
Yeah.
And he made those songs his own. And there's a lot of artists that are already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that didn't necessarily write their own songs. Elvis Presley is a prime example. Yeah. Elvis Presley wasn't a writer. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and rightfully so. But, for Joe Cocker to not be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame already to this point, but in 2025, That's insane.
What's it going to take?
What's
I
your
see it.
What's your favorite Joe Cocker song?
You Are So Beautiful is one of them. I
Okay,
don't,
all right.
but that's what put him on the map.
You
My
know,
opinion.
it's that song, but then he did,
He did a
and
bunch of other songs.
this is more on the pop side, but he did Up
Yeah.
Where We Belong with Jennifer Warren. I mean, that song went to #1 on the Billboard Top 40, and it's a great ballad. And Joe had a voice like he sounded like he had like rocks in his throat or even razor blades in his throat or something, but man, he made that voice so, how do you describe it? You could feel the passion in his voice. Just tremendous. But how about You Can Leave Your Hat On?
Oh, that's right.
Come on.
Oh, wow. I forgot that.
In the
song.
80s, tell me a strip club that wasn't playing that song.
How would you know?
I don't know. And that's the truth. Okay? That is the truth. I don't lie.
No.
But I'm trying to be funny here. But really, no, but a great song. What a sexy song. And so much so that this is what I'm talking about when it comes to what an artist does with their gift or even lack of a gift, because Joe didn't have a great voice, but he made it so good, so soulful. When Tom Jones did a cover of You Can Leave Your Hat On, that song pales in comparison to Joe Cocker's version. Joe Cocker's version is the version. I mean, it's such a great song, such a dynamite song. Love that one. It's probably been my favorite Joe Cocker song. That one, or there's one when I think it's When the Night Comes. That was off of a movie soundtrack, I believe. He might have had it on an album too, but I remember it being on a movie soundtrack. Okay. So without going on and on and on and on. So Joe gets our vote, right?
Yes.
So, okay, good. Well, I have 4. I have 4 on my ballot.
Yeah.
And you have 3, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Sorry about that, people. Next on the list,
Billy Idol. Billy Idol is in. Is in. Great. The guy can perform like no other. Ugh. You and my kids like him.
I wear my hair like this because of Billy.
Well,
not really.
Yeah.
But yeah. Man.
Eyes Without a Face, White Wedding, man. Those songs, man, go through when we went through high school.
Yes. Well, okay. So Billy left Generation X in the late 70s to take on a solo career. He was the lead singer in that band, which is a punk band. So when Billy comes to New York to start a solo career, he's coming from the punk side of it. And to be honest, early on, you wouldn't consider White Wedding a punk song, but Moni Moni kind of had that punk flavor to it, or flair. His cover of it, of course, it's not an original song, not a Billy Idol original, but his version kind of had that flair to it. But then you get to his second album, Rebel Yell, and that's where it just explodes. That's where it just explodes for Billy. And you got a lot of stuff on there. You got some hard driving rock and roll. You got some punk attitude. And Billy always approached that hard rock with a punk attitude. He was coming from his punk roots and infusing that into hard rock. And when you incorporate a guitar player by the name of Steve Stevens, when you incorporate that in there and those guys are writing tunes together, it's just off the charts. Billy Idol's bad ass.
He's in.
No, Billy's in.
Billy's in.
And, no, and look, and we have to go because he's touring this summer or this year with Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Yeah, good show.
They're co-headlining on a tour. That's a good bill there.
Joan Jett's excellent.
You get a little from both artists. You get from the punk side, kind of punky, hard rock, I mean, even into the late '80s, uh, you know, Billy was getting a label because he started getting a little keyboardy um, in the late '80s of being like techno punk and stuff like that. I mean, he embraced it, of course. He embraced all that, and so much so I think it was like 1992 or '93. He had an album called Cyberpunk, but during the '90s, of course, all the great music, all the great hard rock that we grew up loving, and all that stuff kind of took a backseat to the grunge stuff that was happening in the early '90s. But Billy released an album in late '05 called "The Devil's Playground," and son of a gun, that is so good. I'm telling you, from front to back on that album, it is killer. Great stuff. And gosh, dynamite stuff. I shake my head because it's so good. And what's cool is on that album there, one of my all-time favorite Christmas songs, it makes my top 10 Christmas song list every year, is "Yelling at the Christmas Tree." Such a great song. But yeah, gosh, Billy's so good. And he's so good still. Dude just turned 69 years old.
And he looks like he's only 40.
Yeah, he looks fabulous. Stays fit. Ah, man, can't wait. We're gonna have to. You and I.
We'll go
when we get off the air here. When we stop recording, we're gonna have to like jot down like 4 or 5 shows you and I need to take in this year.
Definitely, Billy.
We'll have to get our list going.
Billy Idol's a good show.
Yeah,
seen him several times.
Yeah. Oh man, Billy puts on a killer show.
Yeah.
So good. You know what though? I hope, because I tried to do some looking, and normally it comes a little further down the road. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame will kind of announce each act, like who's going in with that act, like with Bad Company. Okay, Bad Company. There was a period of time where Paul Rodgers wasn't in the band.
Yeah, that's correct.
In the late '80s, early '90s, Brian Howe took over lead singing duties and made 4 albums with the band. And actually, when Paul left, that was when he left to go do the Firm.
Yeah.
The band they had just come off of a very low point for them. I think Rough Diamonds was the album they released, and it was the poorest selling of their previous 6 albums. It was the worst selling. So the band was at a low point. Brian Howe comes in, and now they kind of changed direction a little bit, but they started getting airplay again on Top 40 radio, on rock radio. So my point to all this is, who's going to be included in that? My personal feeling is I think it's going to be the original 4. That's who I think it's going to be. I don't think Brian Howe is going to be included in it. I honestly think he should be. And rest in peace, Brian Howe. He passed away a few years ago. But I do hope it happens. I hope it happens for Brian, because he deserves to be there, because he did. He carried that torch. He brought the band. He helped to bring the band back. And they were doing very good business when Brian bowed out. So anyway, but like with Billy Idol, now Billy's had a lot of players coming in and out over the years. Please, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, get this one right. Steve Stevens has to be there. He's Billy's right-hand man. He has to be there. Okay. All right. Next on the list,
New Order,
Joy Division.
I only know one song, guys, and I couldn't. Blue Monday. I couldn't tell you the rest of the songs that they played, and I probably would know once I heard them, but I'm not familiar with them enough to vote them into the Hall of Fame. So they don't get my vote for that only reason.
You know what? When it comes to New Order and Joy Division. Sorry, you saw me take a sip of water, and now it's right here, and I'm choking on it. We don't have cough buttons here. I know that they have a big influence on the post-punk, new wave genres. I know they have a huge influence on that. Both acts, Joy Division and New Order. I know like their big song is Blue Monday. I would actually have to hear it to know if I recognize that song. I'm sure I probably do, but who knows? I don't know. I don't know right now if there's enough there. So right now, you're saying no.
Yes.
I'm going to say I'll think about it because we still have like 7 or 8 more to go.
Think about it.
Yeah. So I'm going to think about that when we'll come back. Right now, look, I only have to put in 2 more. I got 2 more votes because I put in 5 already.
I got 3 more, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
So next on the list is Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper is in, even though she's not a rock and roll band per se. She's got a lot of great music. Girls Want to Have Fun, and even the slow ballads like Time After Time, True Colors. Great musician she was. It still is. I'm sorry.
I'm up in the air on this one. I am. I'm up in the air on
Money
this one.
changes everything, man. Yeah.
Well, then maybe if somebody gave me some money, it would change my mind.
Well, no, you don't
like
get
that.
you don't get paid to do this show.
You like that. You know you do.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So
she has my vote. So you can say what you want. She has my vote.
I am. I'm up in the air on that one. I look, I like Cyndi Lauper. I saw her live. I saw her perform. She opened for Cher. This was.
I must have been too long ago.
This was a while back. This was
because it goes in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I can't even. This I don't know, 15 years ago, something like that. I saw her. She opened for Cher, and I thought she was incredible. I thought she did a bang up job. She did a bang up job, and sounded great. I'm hoping everything was all live. I'm hoping the tracks were live because she sounded phenomenal. Obviously, she's popularity great. You didn't hear. I have to go back to part of my argument for against Mariah Carey. You don't hear Cyndi Lauper on rock radio.
Not as often.
Not at all. Not on rock radio. Pop radio, top 40 radio, even adult contemporary radio. Yes, of course. But not on rock radio. So I'm kind of conflicted on that one. If they had, if they had a pop Hall of Fame, man, she's in like that. So I don't know. I think right now I'm going to take a pass at that one. I'm going to kind of hold my judgment on that right now. So that's 2 in a row I'm holding my vote on.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. So I'm holding my my vote on Cyndi right now.
You'll have to come back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back because I mean I've got 5 now, and I'm looking at the rest of the list, and I don't know if I got 2 more out of that. So,
Oasis.
No. Next one was Mana.
Oh. No, I don't know any. Okay. I don't know any of their Spanish songs.
As far as I know, this is the one and only time they've ever been on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ballot, and I don't know enough about them anyway. I don't know their influence. I don't know anything about them, so it's a no.
Wow.
Sorry, Mana.
Well, that was quick.
It was quick.
It was quick.
Well, I mean,
we don't know.
What do we do? Don't know.
we don't. We just don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so now we'll get into the next one.
Now we got Oasis.
Okay.
No, because I don't think they only have one song that I know of, and that's Wonderwall. Yeah. But everything else I do not know. So I'm gonna say no because of that. maybe a few more years later down the line. But I'm not comfortable giving them my vote.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I'll say this. Look what's happening right now. The Oasis is on this ballot for one reason. The brothers Gallagher have gotten back together on their reunion tour for this year. It's the biggest tour in the world right now. It's huge. It's enormous. They've sold out all their shows. They do have a few shows in the United States. They sold everything out in the UK and in Europe. I think they did like 9 or 10 nights at Wembley, and they're all sold out. So the thing is, Oasis is completely different on that side of the Atlantic than they are here in America. Popular, but I don't even know if, like I said, they have a few shows here, all stadium shows, all stadium. I don't know if they're sold out in the United States. They're beyond sold out in, like I said, on that side.
Yeah, they got a lot of airplay over there.
On that side of the Atlantic. Here. In the United States, though, they're basically known for 2 albums. And so I know why they're, like I said, I know why they're on the ballot. They're on the ballot because if they get the votes, then the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame gets to say, yes, we've got the brothers Gallagher that reunited for this tour, and we're going to get them on our stage as well. Because I said, I think I said it early in the show that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, not only are they putting people into their hall, but they also have to produce a television show.
True.
So they're going to have some classic acts. They're going to have some more current acts because they have to sell out an arena for their production. So I think that's the biggest reason why they are on this ballot for this year. I mean, come on. I don't think it takes a genius to figure that one out. You can call me cynical or whatever, but I think that's why. I'm not sure right now. I'm not, as I'm sitting here in my seat, I'm not sure that there's enough there. I'm going to withhold my vote right now. So
that's 3 in a row.
It's 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4.
Mana got a no.
Yeah, Mana got a no.
But 3 out of 4 that I'm not sure yet.
You gotta flip a coin?
We may have to flip a coin once we get through the list. If I can't find 2 more, we may have to start tossing coins.
I say just make a decision and live with it.
So all right. So next one is Outkast.
Couple of songs are good.
Yeah.
But no. I haven't heard enough music.
Well,
I mean, okay. To me, I haven't heard enough music. I mean, there's some songs that are good, but I haven't heard enough.
Right. Now, in the hip hop rap community, these guys are like legendary. Okay.
Well, they are.
I'm sure they're very, but
they're not a rock and roll.
And they're very influential. They're legends, all that good stuff. But the way you and I are looking at this as well, I right now, this minute, I'm not playing by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's rules. I'm playing by my rules.
Our rules.
Okay. Because it is my ballot, so I can vote for whomever I want.
Yeah.
So I'm going by my criteria. And
show us yours.
I want to see the rock and roll acts in there.
Yeah.
Until Kiss gets in the Country Music Hall of Fame, or they get in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame or something like that, then okay. Then no.
Yeah.
Okay. Then so I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the way that's the way I'm playing this one out. And right now it's a no. It's a no. And I think this is the second or third time they've been on the ballot.
Oh.
Yeah.
They weren't on it last year.
I
don't think they were.
I could go through my notes.
You can check and see if I'm lying too, but
I know. I could go through my notes.
I don't believe they
yeah.
were on there last
Okay.
year.
All right.
Maybe the year before, but not
Yeah.
last year.
No, it's possible. It's possible.
So,
Okay. So next up is
Fish. Now,
Fish.
I don't know much about Fish, but I have friends who've seen these guys in concert and they play their rear ends off.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say yes, basically because I've heard so many good things about them. Of course, I haven't seen them personally.
Yeah.
But they are a very, very good band. They've been playing for years, and they fill out stadiums everywhere they go, including LA. So
Well, that is
that's a good
true.
band.
That is true. They're they're in that jam band genre.
Yeah.
They're a rock and roll band.
All they do is jam.
It's that jam band genre. I can tell you, I'm not sure if I know any of their songs at all. I know that they have a enormous following.
Oh, they do.
I do know that. I do know that they right after U2 did their 41 or 42 shows at the Sphere to open it up. I know Fish came in right after that, and they did a run, sold out all their shows. It wasn't 42 shows, but
they're not U2 either.
No, but they sold. Yeah, they sold out. They sold out their shows. I know they have, like I said, a tremendous following. Apparently, their musicianship is just off the charts. I don't know enough about them. I do know their popularity, their influence, and that type of thing. So
I got them in. So
I know you got them in. I know you got.
I don't know where you're at on this.
I'm
I got them in.
right now. It's not a no. Right now, I'm gonna wait.
3 out of 4.
I know 4 out of 6. 4 out of the last 6.
Man.
Well, look,
Okay,
the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It's not easy.
When they put the nominees out, they top loaded it with definitely all the ones that I wanted to see in. Sure. Okay, so next up is
Soundgarden. Black Hole Sun.
Yeah.
Great song. That's the only song I know, but it's a great song.
Spoon Man.
I'm gonna say, yeah. I'll say yeah. They're a good band, but Black Hole Sun just that gets me going. It's a really great song.
Yeah,
real slow, dark song. Like it.
It was a dark. It's a dark, brooding song, definitely. I know for Soundgarden fans, they would lose their minds if Soundgarden were to get in this year, especially because Chris Cornell, passed away back in 2017, I think it was.
So it's been 6 years.
Yeah, and
6, 7. No, it's been 8 years, 9 years.
Almost, yeah. So they would love to see that happen.
Why are we waiting till people die?
Now, I'll say this, and this is I think the second or third time Soundgarden's been on the ballot. I'm pretty sure they were on it last year. I'm gonna say, and it just came to me right now. I'm gonna say if Rage Against the Machine got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
why not Soundgarden?
Then Soundgarden should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because honestly, I think Soundgarden probably has a greater following. I think they've had a greater influence. I think they had better songs, definitely, and I think they had more material that you would hear on rock radio as well. So just for that alone, I'm gonna say they're gonna get my vote.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
No, they're gonna get my vote.
Well, okay then.
And it just came to me, and honestly, before we hit record, in my mind when I'm going over this stuff yesterday and I'm thinking about it, it was a definite no. But yeah, I think for all the things that you mentioned, I mentioned, I think they get my vote. So, all right.
So I have all my 7. So I can't.
Do you have all your 7?
I got all my 7.
Who's your 7? Well,
off top of my head, I don't know, but I know I have 7.
all right.
I
Well,
count.
let's okay. So
Anyways.
white stripes. 1,
Boo.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
6. So white stripes. I don't know enough about
I
white
don't
stripes.
either,
Yes,
yeah.
I know it was a brother and sister. I know they didn't have bass in their music. There was like no bass player in the band. And then of course they broke up or whatever, and Jack White went off to do his own stuff, and he's supposed to be some great guy. I don't know if I've ever really heard anything that I can even
haven't
say
either.
I appreciate that has the name Jack White or the White Stripes attached to. Okay. You can call me crazy, call me stupid, call me lame, whatever.
We'll just call you man.
You can call me anything you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. But it never appealed to me. Yeah, I gotta say no.
Okay.
I gotta say no. That's a no.
Okay, now we have to go back to your decision makers.
So okay. Now
Billy Idol was one you weren't sure of.
yeah.
Right? I thought
So I've got Bad Company, Black Crowes, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Billy Idol, Soundgarden. So I've got to come now. You don't have to. I know the electors, or I should say the voting body. They don't have to choose all 7. They don't have to make 7 selections, but I would say most of them probably do. There's a little over 1,000 voters. I'm sure most of them do. Maybe not all of them, but for our exercise, we're going to do 7.
Yeah,
anyway.
we're going to do half of 14.
We're going to do 7. So, yeah, I don't want to leave anybody off. I think I think I'm going to go Cyndi Lauper. I do. I think I'm going to go Cyndi Lauper on this one. It's I tell you, I'm up in the air on that one. But I think I'm going to go Cyndi Lauper. I do. So, okay. So what's your 7 again? Can you get your notes real handy so you can?
Yeah, well, I got your notes. You've already kept track for them. We got Bad Company.
we both have Bad Company.
Yep, and then we had.
And we both have Chubby Checker.
Correct.
We both have Joe Cocker.
Correct.
We both have Billy Idol.
Correct.
We both have Cyndi Lauper.
Correct.
Right? And we both have Soundgarden.
Correct.
So where we differ, I got the Black Crowes. And,
I said no.
And where did you go on your 7th one?
I don't think I have a 7th one.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I got 7. So yeah, I don't think you didn't go with Fish, did you?
Oh, I went with that. No, I think I went. Yeah, I went with Fish.
Oh, okay. That's where we differ. Okay,
that's where we went.
Gotcha. Which is funny because you're going with Fish, which is known as a jam band, and I'm going with Black Crowes, which isn't known as a jam band, but does have. When you see them live, they do have jam band elements.
Well, I haven't seen them live, so I wouldn't know.
Okay.
So we have to see them.
So, all right. Now that we established that, let's talk about something that irritates a lot of people, and it irritates me, are the snubs. The bands or the artists that they either have gotten snubbed this year or have been snubbed in the past or have they've always been snubbed. Okay. And another one just came to mind. So I'm putting this one down here. So here, I will start this one and maybe something will come to mind. I'm going to say REO Speedwagon.
Yeah.
Never been on a ballot.
They'd be in, if you ask me.
Never been considered. Yeah. Never been on a ballot. Huge band. Been around for better than 50 years. Which would make them eligible since around, I don't know, 2000, something like that.
Man, they put on a great show live.
And now the one thing that you could say, I mean, they're a band that has been touring nonstop for the last 25 years. Every single year they are out on the road. They have a summer tour every year. And they do a great job. There's great songs. They have a diamond album. Their biggest one, High Infidelity, sold 10 million plus copies. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of there's not a lot of acts out there, not a lot of bands out there that can claim that. And like I said, I would say the only drawback is that they don't put out any new music. They haven't put out any new music in other than like a live album or something like that, which I know they put out a couple of live albums when they had done some tours with Styx 20 years ago or so. But that would probably be the only drawback, but great band, great songs.
There's no excuse why it shouldn't.
No, I don't think so.
They should be,
especially when you have contemporaries from that era, that genre. You've got Foreigner finally now in, because that was criminal. Journey, of course. So bands like that, they're in. REO should be in.
I agree.
Here's another one. Styx.
They're not in?
Nope.
I thought they'd been.
Never even been on a ballot.
Oh boy.
I thought for sure, honestly, before this announcement came out Wednesday, I honestly thought Styx was going to be on the ballot. I really did.
They should be.
They should be in. Forget about just being on a ballot. They should already be in. They really should. For really the same reasons, actually, and even more than REO, because Styx is still recording and releasing new music to this day. They just put out a new album 2 years ago. Okay. And they're putting out new material every 2 or 3 years. They're putting out a new album. The band, as it's constituted right now, really has one original member. That's two original members, Chuck Panazzo and J.Y. Young. Tommy Shaw, for all his greatness, is not an original member, but he's from the classic era. And when you think Styx, you really honestly don't really think of Styx without Tommy Shaw. Okay. And those guys still do everything live, and they still do it so good. There's no computers and no tapes or anything like that. It's all live and it's all real, and it's in the original key. Those guys are tremendous.
Yeah.
So there's no reason. Honestly, for me, Styx and REO, and I'm going to put a little mark right here. Those are like major snubs. Major snubs. Have to be on there. Have to be on the ballot going into next year. Have to be. What about this one? Boston.
Yeah, why not? Wow, they've been out since like the mid-70s.
Their debut album, Boston, has sold like almost 20 million copies.
Yeah, I thought they
Their
were
second album, Don't Look Back. Between the two albums, they've sold. Now, Don't Look Back didn't do nearly as well as the debut, but it still sold like 5-6 million copies. Okay. Those alone, just on those numbers alone, Boston should be in. And not only that, but when they broke, all that sound that Tom Scholz created, nothing sounded like Boston when that debut album came out. Nothing sounded like that. That was such a unique sound. Nobody had ever heard that stuff before, and he created that sound.
Yeah.
And he wrote that sound. He just needed somebody to sing it. So what does he do? He goes and grabs a guy by the name of Brad Delp with an absolutely tremendous voice to sing that stuff. Great stuff. Boston, never been on a ballot. Snubbed for way too long.
Hopefully next year.
Should be in. This one is totally criminal. Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
And I was double checking. I double checked the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame website. So unless I overlooked something, I double checked it today. Bryan Adams is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? First off, okay, he should be in just for his body of work alone.
Yeah.
However, Many of you might not even be aware of the stuff that he has written for other artists that became humongous.
Yeah.
Sold millions of copies. Okay, that stuff right there. Okay, Bryan Adams should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Agreed.
I don't believe he's ever been on a ballot.
That's too bad because he's definitely
Another one here. Thin Lizzy, I think, is a huge snub. They got on a ballot once, maybe twice, but they didn't get in. And I know here in America, they're known for like mostly one song, but if you listen to rock radio, it's two songs, and that's Boys Are Back in Town and Jailbreak. But across the Atlantic, 15, 20 hit songs, and they're enormous, legendary on that side. So, and not only that, but even in America, their influence the influence that they had on so many other bands in that in the 70s was incredible. It just doesn't get recognized. It didn't get recognized a lot by radio, and it definitely has not been recognized by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But I Thin Lizzy, criminal. And what's weird is, like I said, they've been on the ballot, I know, at least twice, but then how do they like drop off the ballot? How do they not get on the ballot? How are they not still on the ballot? Right? So it's just weird. The nominating committee, they're just, they just do whatever they do. So that, I think those definitely, I'm marking stuff down here because I'm like trying to go through like my top 5 snubs, and definitely Thin Lizzy's in the top 5.
I agree with all of them too. So,
I didn't put a mark next to Boston. I didn't put a mark next to Bryan Adams. That's 5 right there, and I still have more. Now, this for me is like for selfish reasons. Because I don't think they're ever gonna. They'll never get in. They'll never even get on a ballot, which I think is actually a shame. And that's Loverboy.
Oh yeah.
Loverboy. They're not known for only one song, but of course it's their biggest song, Working for the Weekend. But it's still an anthem that gets played on radio stations all the time, on Fridays especially, that kind of thing. But it's a band that is still out touring to this day. And and not only that, it's all original members minus the bass player, Scott Smith, who didn't quit the band, but died. So it's 4/5 the original band. And they still sound great to this day.
Yeah.
We saw them a couple years ago on the Foreigner tour.
Yeah.
We saw them a couple years ago.
Yeah, they came out, played 6-7 half an hour. They
sounded
great music.
Awesome.
Yeah, they were on.
Yeah, they were on that got cut short, but they sounded awesome.
They were on that.
And I just love that band.
Yeah,
love that band.
I agree. You met them, so
I did meet them. Yeah. I have a picture somewhere with them on my phone. It was all right. You brought it up,
and I was there. So
yeah, you was.
I wasn't there. I was there at the show, but
this was about 2011, and Loverboy was playing a thing locally. It was called the LA Spring Fair, and
Irwindale Speedway
at Irwindale Speedway, which is closed. I don't know if they ripped it down yet, but it's closed. Which I think they should put a concert venue there. I think they should put like a small amphitheater, maybe 10,000 seater.
That'd be a good idea.
I think it'd be great for that property. We don't have any good venues now. We have no outdoor venues.
Yeah, that's true.
Since they shut down 5 Points, we have no outdoor venues locally. It's a crime. Anyway, okay, so I digress. Let's get back on track. So I had been in touch with Mike Reno, the lead singer of Loverboy. We had kind of emailed back and forth. At that time during in 2011, he was a co-host on a morning radio show, rock radio in Vancouver, British Columbia. and I would listen to the morning show. That's when radio stations first started streaming their shows
Yeah.
on the internet. So I started listening, and it was kind of funny, and he was fun to listen to. And but they had a way to contact each of the hosts of the show. So I had sent Mike an email, and he sent me one back, and we were kind of going back and forth. I said, told him I was going to be at the show, and so sure enough, I was there, and I went to the meet and greet, and it was so bizarre. Is the guys from the band come walking in the room, and there was maybe a dozen, maybe 15 people there for the meet and greet, and the band comes walking in the room, and most everybody was on one side of the room, and I, for no particular reason, was kind of by myself on another side of the room, and they come walking in the door, and 4 of the 5 guys walk to that side of the room, and Mike walks directly over to me. And I introduced myself to him. Hey, I'm Ben. Oh yeah, okay. So he remembered,
Yeah.
he remembered our exchanges and all that. And then we just kind of got to talking a little bit. Very, very nice. I had my CD. I took a CD for them to sign the cover. It was the one they released in 2007, Just Getting Started, which is not on any of the streaming services. You've got to own the physical copy of that. That's why you own physical copies. If you want to listen through streaming services, great. But remember, it can always go away.
Yeah.
It used to be on the streaming services. It hasn't been on the streaming services for almost 10 years. So, okay, let that be a lesson to you. All right. If you want the stuff, buy the stuff. Okay. When you own physical copy, they can't take it away from you. Anyway, so I did. I took that CD because I love that CD. And I knew that if anybody else had a CD there to sign, they weren't going to have that one. So I did. I took it. All the guys signed it. And then everybody got to take a picture. And somebody took a picture. They were using a phone. They were using a cell phone at the time. And back in 2011, the cameras on cell phones are not all that great. Yeah. So it's a grainy picture. It's a terrible picture. They wouldn't do it with your own phone. So they did it, and then they would email it to you. So I've done nothing with that picture. Maybe one of these days I'll put it up and let people see it. But I got all 5 guys around me, and Mike and I are standing right next to each other in the center of the picture. And it was fun. It was a quick meet and greet, 10 minutes or so, but I got to actually have a conversation with him. So it was cool. But
Worst day to see a concert. All it did was rain the whole day.
Man, we were sitting right up there. I mean, we could almost see their nose hairs. We were sitting so close.
Yeah, we're scared of the band.
It was great. Yeah, it was great.
Would have been scary.
Well, that's the way we are. We like to sit so close we can scare the band. But so yeah, I mean, for selfish reasons, I think Loverboy should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I agree.
I don't think they will ever get a sniff of it. But
that's too bad.
Yeah. Another one that I don't think will ever get a sniff, but is well deserving. Rick Springfield.
Yeah, that guy's still going.
Yes, he is. And I know his biggest hit is Jesse's Girl. Okay. But he is so much more than Jesse's Girl. And if you, from 83 on, if you listen to a lot of his stuff, it is so much more, it's so much heavier in the rock space.
Don't talk to strangers.
Don't talk to strangers.
Don't talk to strangers.
I know. I try not to talk to strangers. Okay. I tell my kids that. but Rick is still putting out music to this day. He's got a greatest hits package coming out in a few weeks. I don't remember what it is. Greatest Hits 2, I think is what it is. And it basically covers all his material from, I think, 1999 forward. It'll have hits from there, except I know he does a re-record. So it's a new version of Jesse's Girl. It's the last song. I think there's 20 songs on there, and it's the last song. But anybody out there that's watching or listening, if you've seen Rick in concert, guy puts on a whale of a show.
Yep.
The guy's like 75 years old. Are you kidding? And he's just great shape. It's always without his shirt on and not an ounce of fat on him. Great shape, looks great, and just does. He puts on a great show. One of my favorite albums from Rick. It's tough. My favorite album might be Living in Oz. That was released in 1983. That might be my favorite album. That's when he really started to turn it on with the harder rock stuff. But in 2017, I think it was January 2017, he released an album called The Snake King. And it's all very bluesy, but it's not like slowed down, depressing blues. It's not like that, okay? But it's very bluesy. It's very upbeat. A ton of steel guitar in it, and really good stuff. Also, I forgot this. I think it was 08 or 09. He released an album called Venus in Overdrive. Maybe that one's my favorite over Living in Oz. I forgot about that. It's got just tremendous stuff. It's a little hard rock. It's a little poppy, or maybe it's a little polished, but it's so good. So good. Victoria's Secret, Venus in Overdrive, the title track. Great song. My favorite song is just an anthem that I love to sing to Catherine. It's called She. And it's great stuff. But anyway, I don't think he'll get a sniff. I think he deserves to be there. Definitely. Most definitely. All right, two more. So you tell me what you think. I know what you'll say about the next one. Phil Collins.
Oh, that guy is being snubbed.
He's already in with Genesis, but
he should be in it for himself.
I think as a solo artist, he definitely should be there.
Yeah,
definitely should be there. Look at all the great solo material he put out, and No Jacket Required, his biggest, is one of the biggest selling albums of the entire 80s decade.
And that's his first album that came out. It was really good. Yeah.
That's
his very first in terms of
the first one that came out was Face Value. It was Face Value. It was the one with the black and white cover.
Yeah.
Well, in the
No, you're right. No, you're right.
Yeah. No Jacket Required came out in 85. That was the one with Sussudio and One More Night and Don't Lose My Number.
No.
Take Me Home.
Not sure.
Yeah. You can check my mouth.
I'm not sure. I will.
I know you will.
but anyways, he belongs there.
Like I said, that album alone, I think it sold almost 30 million copies. Yeah. Okay. That album alone. And it just tremendous drummer, songwriter. And again, kind of like Bryan Adams, you don't realize how much Phil Collins wrote and or played for other artists as well on stuff that sold millions of copies. So, I mean, just that stuff alone, I think Phil deserves to be as a solo artist.
Agreed.
Tremendous.
Yep, he probably won't get
and he's in bad shape.
Oh, that's right.
Physically.
Yeah.
So let's get it done, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah. Let's get him on the ballot. Let's get him in, okay? Let's not wait, okay? This year's gone. Can't do anything about it. Well, let's get it done. And then, I think this one's criminal too. And that's Meatloaf.
Bat Out of Hell. Great song.
Absolutely. Bat Out of Hell and Bat Out of Hell 2, those two albums alone probably have sold like 40 million copies. Okay. And now the thing about those two albums is you had the team of Meatloaf and Jim Steinman. And both of those guys are dead. And both of those guys deserved to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before they died because of the body of work that they had put out. Meatloaf, what a voice, what a performer, singing those songs crafted by Jim Steinman, who if you and Jim Steinman wrote for other artists as well too. I'm gonna throw some songs out here to you, okay? So you tell me. All right, I'm gonna throw 3 of them out at you by 3 different artists, and your homework is to go listen to each of these songs because I know you've heard them, but I want you to go listen to each of these songs and then say, "Oh my gosh, they're the same song." Because Jim Steinman had a pattern the way he wrote songs. His songs were basically like operas, and there was the beginning and a slow build, and then it would get to a crescendo, and then it would come down, and they were just, and they were all kind of had that same pattern. But these 3 songs, again by 3 different artists, composed by Jim Steinman. 2 of the songs were top 5 on the top 40, on the Billboard Top 40. And the other one, I think, broke the top. I know it was top 30. It could have been top 20. I don't recall. Have to look it up. The first song is Read 'Em and Weep by Barry Manilow. And all 3 of these songs came out in 1983, too, that I'm going to mention to you. All 3 of these songs came out in 1983. Barry Manilow, Read 'Em and Weep. Was the lowest charting out of the 3. Making Love Out of Nothing at All by Air Supply. No. That song went to number 2.
Well, I know that song.
Yeah. Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler. Yeah. Number 1.
I know those. I know 2 of those songs.
So check those 3 songs out. Jim Steinman was a master songwriter. Okay. And he actually had a song. He did have one song that he released as a solo artist. He released, I think, a couple albums, but one that actually charted in 1981. What's it called? Rock and roll dreams come through. Huh. Yeah, that's what it was. And again, it's that whole, just, you got to hear it. It's very, very operatic, but good stuff.
Interesting.
So Meatloaf and Jim Steinman together, they need to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I don't argue
Tremendous
with that.
snubs.
Yeah, I don't argue with that.
Tremendous snubs.
Yeah.
So I think what 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I had a list of 9.
And 7 of them 9.
And 7 of them, I think, are criminally excluded. 2 of them I don't think have a chance. Anybody come to mind for you?
Nope.
I did all the work.
Yeah, you did all the work.
I did all the work.
I wasn't prepared for
all
the extra
talking.
homework.
I didn't either. I just scratched that
down.
Yeah,
well, you scratched that. I didn't get a chance to scratch anything.
But
it's all right. This is your show. Okay?
It is my show.
Yes, it's your program.
You are my guest.
This is your program.
And you are free to do whatever you like.
Nope.
But yeah, so we'll see what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame voting body comes up with. They probably won't announce. Oh, I think the ballots are due sometime in April. I think all the votes have to be in first week of April. So we should hear something in the next maybe 6 weeks, and then we'll see how it all plays out. But I'm hoping that we do some more. We do another episode or 2 regarding the
snubs.
Well, I'd like to do a show or two about some of these folks getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we can really talk about them a lot, really go into their catalogs. We'll see how it all plays out. But anyway, thanks for doing this. And he did it on short notice too, very short notice. I think I waited till Wednesday to.
I was not fully prepared, but it's okay. I did the best I could do. So you people out there thinking I stink, yeah, I do maybe, but I did the best I could.
You always do well.
Within a couple of days.
You always do well. So much so. I mean, you're the one. And this may change to like the Ben and Spaz show or something. I don't know.
No, we're not doing that.
He's been on so many times, he's like definitely my co-host, my wingman. But when it comes to talking music, you and I, we've just had so many experiences, and especially shared experiences.
We can agree to disagree, what I like,
Oh yeah, of course. You know what? I'm looking at the wall right here, and I see that Zeppelin on the wall there. You know what you and I need to do? We should go see that Led Zeppelin documentary while it's out. Becoming Led Zeppelin.
I've already seen it.
Did you already see it?
Yeah. Way ahead of you, sir.
What? Man. Well, you may have to see it again, or I'm gonna have to go drag Catherine to it, or go see it by myself.
See it again.
But you know what?
I saw it at home.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then we could critique it. We could talk about it on the show here.
Yeah, I can watch it as many times as I want to.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
To do
I can be ready to do that.
So,
sure.
Yeah. Well,
I like Led Zeppelin.
Anyways, we will let's let you guys go. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for hanging out with us on Valentine's Day. Although by the time you watch or listen to this, I'm sure it's not going to be Valentine's Day.
Probably going to be Saturday morning.
Yeah, Saturday morning, Saturday night, whatever.
Yeah, whatever time.
But no, thanks a lot though. It's been great. It's always good to hang out with you. It's always good to hang out with this guy.
Yeah, me too.
Whether we're eating pancakes or we're talking music,
drinking too much coffee, and stuff like that.
No, hot cocoa for me. I got ripped on about that. I got teased the whole morning on that one. But anyway, so we'll call it here. We'll let you go and say thanks for being here. As you know, this program is available wherever you get your podcasts. All you have to do is search the Ben Maynard program, and there it is. Okay. But, if you like some of this right here and you like a little bit of that over there, and you just got to see the way the two of us, go back and forth, and you're watching on YouTube, thanks for doing that. Just subscribe to the channel. Okay. Hit the notification bell. Give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. Okay. Comments are great. Last but not least, follow me on Instagram. All one word, Ben Maynard program. All I can say is just keep telling your family and friends. I have in my head, I'm not going to share it, but I have certain goals that I'd like to reach as far as subscriptions, as far as viewers, as far as downloads on the streaming platforms, that type of stuff. And when you get to certain numbers, the algorithms do some nice things for you, and it's not about making any money, people. It's really not. I promise you, it's not.
Oh, I'm not getting paid for this. I could be at home sleeping right about now.
Paid and I wasn't. There would be something wrong with this.
I'm not getting paid.
But anyway,
it's all good.
So look, just help me out, okay? Continue to tell your family and friends. Tell 10,000 of your family and friends, okay? Please do that. All right. So with that, all right. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. And we'll see you here next time. This is the Ben Maynard program. Tell a friend.
Sayonara.
Yeah.